Well, Shalom, King of Kings family, Pastor Chad here in our Jerusalem studio. Welcome again. Glad you are with us. Really, it's an honor that every Sunday you invest this time with us. We've got a great service planned for you today. I just checked in with the worship team. Everybody's ready to go. We had something a little bit unusual happen this week. We had power go out. It burned some of the fuses in our sanctuary, but by God's grace, we were able to fix enough of them so that nothing was affected in a negative way. That's why we're coming to you live right now in our media studio. So blessings to you. If you want to get ahead of us in tonight's service, we're going to be continuing in our Dr. Luke series. Turn in your Bibles or devices, Luke chapter 9. Luke chapter 9 will be the main text today. Listen, I've got some incredible guests. They're my dear friends. We've known each other for a long time now. Let me introduce into the studio Micael and Ann Carter. Welcome.
Merci.
Jumping right into it. So why don't you say it, and let me see if there's a difference between the accents.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, wow. So what we're saying is we're going to talk about French ministry and the French community here in Israel today. This is a massively growing population of our Jewish family here in Israel. So, guys, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
We've known each other quite some time now, and we connected early in your aliyah process. If I remember correctly, you had just started the process, or you were praying about starting the process. Right. You were somewhere in that ballpark. Mm-hmm. And now you've made aliyah, you are Israeli citizens, our children are best friends in a lot of ways. You know, it's been fun to grow up together. They're in youth group, etc. So let's go back to those early days of making aliyah. How long have you been in the country now?
8 years.
Mm-hmm. 8 years. Mm-hmm. 8 years.
Right.
And is there anything you found surprising about moving to Israel that you did not know ahead of time? I always tell on myself to the audience. So tell on yourself for a minute. Give me one thing that was unusual for you.
I can't say there was anything really unusual or completely unusual. I think the hardest part has actually come after Corona and the war, and the fact that now it's a lot more complicated to travel or to have family. So that would be the most complicated aspect for me anyway.
And what do you think? Did anything surprise you?
So we knew Israel before moving, so we were not very surprised when we made the move, the aliyah. But I would say, yes, something surprising in a positive way.
Okay.
It's the mixity of population, all these communities getting together, the cultures coming together, and especially in the believer world, I would say for me, for us, it was something very nice to be able to just get together as one family, because most of us, we left families in our countries. So the fact that we can get together and be a family, it's been very surprising in a positive way.
You know, it's something we have to remind all of our friends and partners around the world often is the modern state of Israel is really full of immigrants. Mm-hmm. Like we're all immigrants. I immigrated, you immigrated, and they're coming from so many different languages and background, and religious backgrounds or secular backgrounds. Some are coming because of religious persecution. Some are coming for economic reasons. But we're a melting pot, so I'm glad that was a positive thing. What do you think? Was there a challenging thing? Something that's been hard moving to Israel? I ask that because a lot of times we have folks who maybe they haven't been here yet. And we encourage everybody, listen, go to our website, kkm.network, scroll down to the ministries and marketplace and click King of Kings Tours. If you want to help set up a trip to come to Israel for your first time, we'd love to see you here. But if people haven't been here, it can sound like it's just the perfect country, the perfect city of Jerusalem, angels are all around us, and it's just streets of gold. It might feel like that to someone who hasn't been here. But to someone who's lived here now 8+ years, has there been one kind of difficult thing for you?
The language is the main challenge.
Come on now.
The language is, for me, it's the main challenge. Micael is half American and half French, so he already had the English fluently. But for me, when I arrived in Israel, I didn't speak English. So, and even less Hebrew. And I'm still trying with the Hebrew language. So yes, I would say really the language, it's been the most challenging.
Can you believe that she didn't speak English when she got it? Her English is perfect now,
no,
my goodness. We're so impressed. I'm so intimidated now. You're making me feel bad about my Hebrew progress because you picked it up. Micael, what do you think?
Oh, I think that as she mentions, it's the what do I say? All of that aspect. I'm going to switch a little bit, not to not answer your question, but she mentioned that we found family here, and I think that's for us has really made a big difference. So as much as it's been a challenge, it's also been a huge help. And even though life is complicated, whether it be finances or whether it be the cost of life, if you prefer, or whether it be the different difficulties with the language, the fact that we have family through the believing community has made a huge difference to where we feel at ease. We feel in peace. There's not this worry of, oh, how are we going to get by tomorrow? And as you say, I mean, people like you and others, we know that we can reach out to, which is, it just makes a huge difference.
Amen. And you guys have physical family as well as spiritual family, right? And you have family here.
Yeah.
We've had the pleasure of meeting some of them. They're lovely. Now, we talked about our children. You have 3 children. We have 4 children. Our children, some of them are the same ages, and they do a lot of things together. I think in just the last week, they had a sleepover at my house and then one at your house. So we know that because we live in the same neighborhood, it's not too difficult for them to connect, which is wonderful, especially for our family. So thank you for how loving your family has been to our family.
Thank you to
Thank
you.
2 of your daughters are now in the Army. How has that been with that transition?
The first one was quite challenging because it was a discovery in every aspect. We didn't know anything. We knew that she had to serve and knew, okay, that's it. That was about it.
And the war started before she even...
The war had started right before, so it was very complicated and worrisome as parents to know, well, what is she going to be exposed to? What are the situations that she's going to be facing? And
And the feedback sheet, does the one you're talking about, does she get to come home and spend time with family? And what has that been like?
Yeah, mostly every 2 weekends she could come back home and spend the weekend, the Shabbat with us. But otherwise she has to stay on base all week long and eventually 2 weeks in a row. So.
And during the war she slept in a bunker and worked in a bunker. And. Yeah, so it was quite different for her. It was a real discovery, but our second daughter, she is doing well also, and it was easier to navigate for her since we'd already been through a first process, but of course it's got its challenges also.
So there are times where they're both gone?
Yeah. Most of the week they're all
Most of the week. Are there times where they both come home at the same time, or do they miss each other?
Eventually.
Sometimes, but most of the time they've been missing each other.
Okay. Yeah, that's got to be hard for parents trying to get all the chicks together.
We try to adapt as much as we can.
And then there's that one day where the youngest one is going to be at your house.
So you're an empty nester sometimes. So you're welcome. I do what I can to help you guys. Yeah. That's wonderful. And of course, we've got children that are now lined up right behind your children to be in the Army after that, and my son is already in contact with the people in charge of his recruitment. They call it the Mizrana Giyus, right? It's the office of the recruitment. So thank you for helping us learn, because you guys are a few steps ahead of us, and if there's anything we can do as a family and then as a community, let us know. We're so honored, and we always want to bless and say such grateful things about our young people that go serve this country and protect our country. So make sure, as our friends and partners, especially those of you in prayer, please pray for their children who serve us so well, and many others in the King of Kings family. Any given week, we've got a dozen or more soldiers that might be out. They can't come worship because they're out serving the country. So please keep us all in prayer, especially our young adults. It's amazing that this country is protected by such young people. I mean, you're really talking about 18 and 19-year-olds most of the time.
Right.
Let's kind of shift a little bit now. You guys came to Israel having already had pastoral background in France. And once you got settled in Israel, you're part of the King of Kings family, there became this opportunity to open a French-speaking, we call it community group. For the sake of our audience, we'll call it a small group or home group. We call it community group. you've opened that French-speaking community group. How many years now since we opened it?
It's been 8 years also.
8 years, so that's been wonderful. And tell me kind of the process. How is it doing? How's it growing? What kind of things are you focusing on right now?
Right. So it's growing well, I would say, in terms of maturity, first of all. The numbers aren't necessarily huge, but that's because we don't have a huge number of French believers in the Jerusalem area. But where our vision has been is that in reality, though, and if you know me, you know I like numbers, according to the French embassy and to the Alliance Universelle, the French Universal Alliance, they say there are between 850,000 to 1 million French speakers, not French, but French speakers in Israel.
They could be from other countries that speak French as well.
Right. Which means that there's a huge need and a huge potential also, and that's where we've been focusing on the idea of really getting a mature group and an understanding group that we're creating a core, so that we can be efficient in helping and blessing and speaking, and that's what we've been concentrating on, whether it be on the local aspect where we meet every week, every Thursday we meet, we have a time together, we'll have once a month, we'll have a meal together also, try to build up the community, welcome all of the visitors in Jerusalem so that anybody who wants to visit is allowed to visit or able to visit. And then on the national level, then we've got let's say 3 times per quarter, we've got a gathering also of the French believers on that aspect, in the idea of really solidifying the French believing community in Israel. So that's what we've been working on a lot in terms of, you heard me say the words unity and core, and really trying to create something that is lasting.
Well, we certainly love that through the French community group and the growth of that we've been able to take that baseline and connect that with other French ministries and French-speaking believers around the country. And then that's kind of what you were describing now as kind of a national touch point that you're doing each month, every other month, and I know it changes throughout the year, but we're grateful for that, because don't forget, in our mission statement for King of Kings, as we use the broader mission statement, we talk about being a catalyst for unity for the whole body of Messiah, whether that's through a prayer tower, a distribution center, our Anchor of Hope counseling centers, our leadership training academies, and in this case, the French-speaking community. I think it's also important to note to all of you that are joining us today, you might have been surprised that we're almost at 1 million French speakers in Israel. And a few weeks ago, we talked about the surprise that there are nearly 2 million Russian speakers. And again, it just goes back to our opening conversation. Not a lot of people realize how immigrant heavy Israel is in its modern state. And so that's why it can be difficult to blend everybody together. But I tell you what, the Messiah Yeshua is such a good unity point. It's amazing. Now, over the last few years, we've also been a little bit concerned. Maybe give me 1 minute on what are you hearing back in France as far as support or anger at Israel and the Jewish people? What's changing in France?
It's a loaded question, but I'll try to go fast. I think the main issue is that we have to be aware that the French government as a whole is more pro-Palestinian. And so it creates also a narrative in the media, which is often skewed and creates a lot of tension when it comes to Israel. And of course, that then goes down or trickles down into the believing community as well, who is just permeated with all kinds of media that are not necessarily the truth. That is a side note, but that's what also we've been trying to do in terms of the connections with France as well, and with resources to make sure that they do get reliable information from on the ground. And it's not just we're doing our thing here, but it's here's what's happening in Israel so that you can understand what the needs are. Because there is such a heavy opposition to all that.
So a lot of your work is in the media world right now as well, and so as we close today, listen, you can find out some of their work, a lot of translation work as well, reporting work, connecting with the French-speaking world and with the people of France, trying to change that narrative. We thank you for everything you're doing in the King of Kings family, around the country for our French-speaking Jewish people coming home and building the bridge to France. So thank you guys for being with us today. We're praying for you and your family. We appreciate you so much. Let's go worship together in the sanctuary, everybody.